Final thoughts on MLS Cup, silly season begins, and some history in Mexico for 3 Americans. Next on The Daily. Hey everybody, happy Monday and welcome to another edition of The Daily. Here with Andrew Wiebe. I'm Nick Furshaw back at the MLSsoccer.com studios in New York. It was a fun trip out to LA for MLS Cup. The Galaxy, the 3-1 win over the Dynamo. We'll put a bow on it here. A couple storylines left out there, though. None bigger than Landon Donovan. What'd you think of him this weekend?
Well, of course, all the talk about David Beckham, but that's been resolved. As you said, now the mystery is whether or not Landon Donovan, just over 30, will come back to the Galaxy. He said that his gut is telling him to take a break after that game. Of course, he wants to spend time with his family. Take a little bit of break. He said it's been a hard 2 years, but I tend to think, like Bruce Arena, that he will be back. Yes, he needs a break. Yes, he needs to recharge. But I think in the end, the draw of the 2014 World Cup and, just his age, his ability to continue on at a high level will bring him back to the game.
And last thoughts on the Houston Dynamo here. They went down to the Home Depot Center, got that 1-0 lead, played admirably, but in the end sort of faltered when the Galaxy caught up. For the Dynamo, a successful season. What do you think?
Yeah, 2 years in a row losing to the Galaxy in the finals. They cannot be happy about that. But once again, Dom Kinnear has a very, very good foundation laid. We saw them win those back-to-back titles in 06-07. I think you're going to see this team at the top of the Eastern Conference for years to come.
Well, make sure you log on to MLSsoccer.com and get your complete coverage of the 2012 MLS Cup. We've got videos and articles, everything. Find it on MLSsoccer.com. Well, the end of the season brings on trade season and, in part, silly season. We're hearing some rumors on Monday, a lot of them involving Real Salt Lake, trading a handful of key cogs to their success over the past 4 seasons, none bigger than Jamison Olave and Fabian Espindola. We're hearing they've been traded to the New York Red Bulls. No confirmation from the club as of yet, but if this trade goes down, what does it mean?
Well, this is a big one. We've talked for a few years now about RSL and how long they can keep this core together. It seems that this is the point when things have got to change, but a huge trade for New York. On Real Salt Lake's side, I don't think you make the trade unless you have an idea of where to go from here, and they open up significant cap room by doing so. On the other side, New York just keeps on adding numbers to that cap. Jamison Olave, a huge addition for them. The question with him is, can he stay healthy? He's averaged 24 starts over his 5 seasons in MLS, so certainly not a guy that tends to play a full season. And Fabian Espindola, can he help revive that offense? And not revive, but maybe add another element to it. We'll see what happens with Kenny Cooper and Sebastian Letou. Those two appear to be the two that might be going out of New York.
You mentioned it. They're going to get some allocation money from the New York Red Bulls. Some other deals we're hearing. They're also going to get allocation money for Will Johnson. They've traded the Canadian international to the Portland Timbers. Another guy who's put in some good numbers for Real Salt Lake. We're hearing Kosuke Kimura from the Portland Timbers to the New York Red Bulls. And another one, Michael Harrington from Sporting Kansas City to Portland. We hear this one because one of his teammates tweeted it out.
Yeah, Teal Bunbury tweeting, so long, Michael, the other day. He deleted that tweet. Michael Harrington said to the KC Star, no, I haven't heard of anything just yet, but that one seems to be a smoke and then fire thing. We'll have to wait to see about that fire. But it appears Caleb Porter is making some changes early in his reign there in Portland.
One last rumor, and we got to debunk this one from Sunday. This was a riot. Rafa Marquez, rumored to be traded from the New York Red Bulls to the Columbus Crew, of all places. A report that caught on with the Hispanic media, ESPN especially down there, saying that he had been traded. Turns out it was all a rumor originated by the guys over at Massive City in Columbus. Sorry, Rafa Marquez staying with the New York Red Bulls. Last but not least, a big congratulations to 3 Americans who won a title down in Mexico on Sunday. Greg Garza, Joe Benny Corona, and Edgar Castillo, all winners with Tijuana. This is a stunner considering this club made their debut in 2007. And they win the Apertura title with a win over Toluca.
Yeah, a massive result for these guys. And they didn't just win it. 4-1, that is quite the aggregate victory. And I think going into this game, most down in Mexico thought that they were the clear underdogs. They took care of business at home, which they've done all year long in the first leg, and then that surprise 2-0 victory. But as you said it, this team, founded in 2007, some redemption for Edgar Castillo. He won a title in 2008 with Santos, comes back and does it again after revitalizing his career. He was down. He was a little bit, people had counted him out a little bit there for a while, but now he's back, played another great 90 minutes for this team who's relied on defense. 22 shutouts in their last 50 games.
So some big kudos to those 3 guys. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more on the latest edition of Extra Time Radio. The podcast comes out on Monday on iTunes, Buzzsprout, and Stitcher Radio. That does it for us. We'll see you again tomorrow on The Daily.